I've been offered to buy a 20 years old 5 digits Rolex Explorer 2 Polar. A risky watch, polished to the bones, a dealership special with unknown provenance. And my answer was, yes please. If I'd be honest with you, although I owned 3 modern Rolexes before this purchase, this is actually the first time when I felt I bought a Rolex. And although I'm not a Rolex fan, the Explorer 2 Polar 16570 is one and was one of my favorite watches. And that happens mainly for 2 reasons. The 16570 was quite a practical watch with a GMT function, which back in the days wasn't necessarily a statement watch and definitely wasn't a symbol of wealth, a reason to show off as it happens today. This was the watch that could have been bought as a celebration watch by simply getting into an ID and ask for one, before the new etiquette of the brand, which blackmails their customers, forcing them to put their name on a wish list for unwanted expensive watches. And the second reason, although quality-wise the old models cannot compare with the modern ones, the case designs and the mindset of the era was so much oriented towards wearability and comfort. In that period, 1989-2011, the principles of Rolex watches were around robustness, practicality and the brand significance. And the old drill lock cases are by far my favorites because it's so easy to personalize the Rolex with a strap or a NATO. And clearly they were opened for such compromises to allow you to add a personal touch to the watch. Until they came up with the arrogant attitude to ask people to remove their tags from the Instagram Rolex page because they do not sell Rolexes with leather straps. I did own the Rolex Explorer 2, the 42mm version, the predecessor of this model, and the truth is, it's such a massive difference between these generations, especially from the wearability and the sizing perspective. But back on topic, the 5 digits Rolexes are extremely wearable and well tailored with decent finishings which can be worn relaxed in any circumstances, and this is what Rolex means to me. And I think that's why the vintage models were mostly appreciated by the people. Because today the Rolexes have become the symbol of wealth and arrogance, being not necessarily an enthusiast's brand, but more a brand for amateurs which seeks to show off to impress other people than themselves. But let's not be generic and unfair. I think there are true passionate guys which collect and enjoy modern Rolexes. In reality, if you have money, I think it's quite a cool passion to collect Rolexes and keep the value retention as long as you have, I assume, a good relationship with an ID. As a personal note, I did risk to pay a considerable amount for a watch without too much history or provenance. But based on my experience, plus the way the watch looks after several owners and several polishes, the accuracy is pretty decent, and I'm pretty sure inside it isn't a Pagani designed NH35 movement. And by the way, do you know what a dealership product is? It's actually well said, a product which is sold as a currency item with more significance on the value rather than a lovable product. Of course, the clients don't know they are excited for the opportunity to overpay for a Rolex watch, especially in excellent condition. Because guess what? Every time a watch ends up on a dealer, they polish it and they provide paperwork or new warranty. Basically, they erase its past and make it as brand new at every cycle. So imagine how many times this watch ended up to dealers or flippers, everyone struggling to add their touch on this case. Until there is no case identity or case material to work with. And here we can preview the thin lugs and the poor rebrushing on the bezel. So this, my friends, is a dealership product. But don't be deceived by the case looks. Realistically, this model was pretty rudimentary quality-wise. And compared to where technology reached today and the modern market offerings, there are modest priced watches which may offer better dials and coatings than this model. So if you'll pay today 7 or 8,000 euros for such a drilled lugs Rolex, don't expect to receive a super finished watch, no matter the condition. So the value proposition of this watch doesn't sit necessarily in the quality level, but on the overall presence and the comfort provided. This is a warm Rolex, it feels friendly with a rhythm, not like the sharp, unfriendly newer ones. And the only thing that I like about the modern Rolex Explorer 2 is the GMT hand, the proportions and the strong accents of the GMT hand, which can be matched with an orange strap, but in this case the GMT red hand doesn't provide too much color accent, making it a bit more sober. And then in details we have a lacquered white surface with outline markers coated in black to make contrast with the black hands as well. There is a discrete box crystal specific for the Explorer with the iconic Cyclops. Both elements made in this way to provide more light and legibility to the reading of the time in harsh conditions. On the bottom we can spot the Swiss-made label, which is a Swiss Super Luminova version, means that has an already aged lume which ignites pretty fast but fades pretty quicker, having the markers stronger than the hands which are fading faster. This is something you might consider unexpected. So case-wise, or what's left of it, has a diminished crown being protected by the discrete crown guards. And then the case profile, it's simply spectacular. I like the way the profile gets thinner towards the center and how well the case back buries on the wrist. As specifications, the 5-digit Explorer 2 measures 39mm in diameter, having crown guards, 47mm as lug tip to lug tip, 20mm between the lugs, 12mm in height without the Cyclops, and weighs 122 grams. Inside we have the Rolex caliber 3185, which was equipping the aluminum insert GMT Masters as well. The caliber featuring a date and a GMT hand, beats at 28,800 VPH and has 50 hours power reserve. And then the bracelet of that era, although looks like a modern design of Rolex, it is hollow on the end links and hollow on the middle links. I'd say a thing to be appreciated, knowing that it removes from the overall weight. The clasp is iconic, a joke according to the modern standards, but overall I like the way the bracelet complements the case design. As wearability, this is extremely well balanced. It can slide under a cuff, you can protect it better under a jacket, on an adventure like skiing. It simply glues on the hand as a well-designed watch should. Not to mention the ability to strap it with NATO or leather with ease, having spring bar holes and 20mm between the lugs. This will probably be the only Rolex from the collection. I will probably sell the 36mm Explorer because one Rolex for me is enough. I personally enjoy this design quite a lot, and in the near future I have to make a pressure test to see how the waterproofness is, and I have to service the movement to work in COSC or superlative tolerances. Currently is working with +9 seconds per day. So that is it, my friends. I want to keep the videos clean, short and relevant, so hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, if you're new around, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave and stay safe.